Hi guys, Chris Buckler here with Estate Agency Mastery. Now, I'm delighted to be joined by the one and only Perry Power. Perry, you don't need an introduction. Everyone knows who you are. Um, if you haven't checked out Perry, check out his socials. Perry is great for just giving. We've just had a conversation about letter content, and he's happy to share. He's one of the real good guys in our industry. But Perry, you know what this podcast's about, right? Whether you're in Birmingham, Belfast, or Bognor Regis, we want some gold from you, some tips from your 10 years of Power Bespoke. What have you got for us?
So the first one, I guess, is right. Cut me in half, and half of me is a marketeer, and half of me just a really obsessed negotiator. So one, the first thing I guess is get obsessed with negotiation, because I hear a lot of agents moan about the fees they're having to charge, and that isn't the case. They're just not good enough at getting the fees that they think they deserve. Um, and it's self-fulfilling. Get obsessed with negotiation. It's everything. It's negotiating yourself into the living room in the first place. It's negotiating yourself the best fee. It's negotiating your client the highest price. I believe life's one big negotiation. And then what leads on to the second tip is start charging buyers for helping them. Like,
What can I jump in on the first tip? 'Cause
go
I want a deep dive, Perry, right?
on.
So I've just finished a book called Full Fee Agent. I'm not sure if you read it or not, by the guy that
Heard good
wrote
things about it. I'm more of a Chris
different.
Voss
Yeah,
fanboy.
yeah. Really, really good. And what took me by surprise, so I write loads of scripts, loads of dialogue, and actually it's like, oh, that doesn't really matter. You're either the favorite or the fool. Um, but either way, actually, I think the UK model is you can still persuade someone with really good scripts because I don't think the standard of negotiation, like you say, is as high as it is in. We were talking about Australia and the US previously. But deep dive on that. So you do a negotiation diploma, like this almost is your like the forefront of your business. So if I'm again in Birmingham, Belfast, Bognor Regis, what resources should I go and do? Where should I go and get my training on negotiation? Maybe my line manager isn't giving me it, or I'm still doing the old countrywide books from 15 years ago. Where do I start?
That's the point in it, is that estate agents in general, 80% of agents probably never had any real technical deep training on negotiation.
Yeah.
um, they might have had their own in-house training, but that's just a small portion of the art of negotiation. So I guess all I can say is what I've done is obviously you learn the ropes and you pick things up and you develop your negotiation style. So I think that's really important. Everyone should have their own kind of style, but then I like going deep on the Chris Voss stuff. Really love just his whole persona and stuff he talks about. Um, he's got a masterclass on negotiation. So if you're not a member of masterclass, you should, because there's masterclasses on lots of things. One of them's Chris Voss. And then, so because all of our agents at Power Bespoke, one of their onboarding joining things to do is to become a certified advanced negotiator. And because we sell ourselves to clients on the, and I do from our head office brand marketing, that we're just really good negotiators. Because we're all certified in advanced negotiation. And I run that thing every year for our agents and any other agent that wants to improve, sharpen their skills. And it's really good.
When's the next one? Is it online? Is it face to face?
It's literally 4 weeks today. So we're maxed out on it. So it's maximum 30 people. It's a Zoom all day, 10 till 4. And it really, um, it's done by a third party, so they do the certification, but me and the trainer, so the trainer's bringing in like um, emotional, psychological, NLP stuff, all the deeper stuff, and I bring in how um, I liken it to my day to day. I've done it about 8 times now because I do it every time I run it anyway.
Yeah.
And every time you pick up, again, it depends if you're like of an open learning mindset. Some would say, cool, bloody hell, still doing it 7 times later. But I pick up one thing new that I
Something different
implement
each
every
time.
time. It's like reading the book in it 4 or 5 times. Um, so I think you've got to get obsessed with that aspect. AI can write your descriptions for you these days. You ain't got to be good at that. But AI can't negotiate. Actually, I don't know if you know this, but in the chat GTP, there's an actual negotiator, and I was playing with it, and it is scarily good.
Interesting. Do you know what I've always said? when the agents are negotiating back and forth, do they go back and look at the AIP to see what they can go up to? Do they almost, if you can profile match and mirror the person and look at the wording they use, and would AI be able to assist you with that? But listen, that's another story for another day, right?
Yeah, and it comes down to your style, to your rules. So, a laughing thing in our company is that you obviously never accept the first offer, even if it's enough or over asking price. You just never accept the first offer. I'm a big fan at pushing until the point of having to pull back. So there's loads of things. Get obsessed by it. Know your style. Know your rules, because no one can copy that. No two negotiators will negotiate the same.
I love it when I pitch. I always say when I bring you the final offer and I go to war to get the best price the market will allow, I'll try and get your solicitors. I'll get it to the point where it's about to be a win lose, but it's still a win win. So, but it'll never
Mm,
be a round figure. I won't leave
mm,
anything on the table. And you
yeah,
can
love
see
that.
people go, oh, okay, that's different. Because the other guy was just talking about right move and now the number one and all that stuff. Okay, so tip one, get great negotiation. Um, look for resources. There's the Chris Voss Masterclass. Read the book Full Fee Agent. All good. Tip two, we slipped into it.
Yeah, so then it comes back to what I really rate about the American. One of the things I really rate about the American models is, buyers should have representation just as much as sellers. So you should start. We're leaving so much on the table. We're all moaning about, sellers only pay 1%. Well, one of our agents has just charged a buyer 2% just to help him buy a property because he was wanting her to help him negotiate, or, find it, negotiate it, hold his hand, solicitor referrals, surveyor referrals, she's mortgage advisor referrals. Like here's me, I'm all yours. Help me find a property. And she charged him 2% plus that or the purchase price. Um, you might do it like that, or you might do it like I do a lot of the time, as a percentage of saving. You go and find the house and leave me to negotiate with the selling agent. Um, one house you put for sale, you get 10 inquiries, you got one buyer, there's 9 people there that don't know it yet, but they could really do with your help and expertise. Whether it's finding an on-market property, an off-market property, you, you just we're estate agents, right? No one said we're selling agents. You're called the estate agency, not the selling agency. So be estate agents.
But surely, Perry, the British public, they don't want people helping them buy, and they don't want to put their hands in their pockets, and it's just not the done thing, right?
Vast majority are quite closed-minded to it until you open their mind to what you can do for them. So, you know, one of a it's really simple. Just say, look, would you like me to do what I do to get houses for sale, but to get a house just for you?
Do you know? And it's so true. People, you don't know what you don't know, and it's simply about asking the question, right? And we,
And look, people, it does my head in when agents talk poorly about the public, like, oh, they don't trust estate agents. No, they've never dealt with a trustworthy estate agent. That's the difference. So just one of our core values is be remarkable, and they'll stick in your mind. I've over my career, I've sold 3 houses for the family, and then the dad was like, "Go to Perry to buy your first place, and I'll pay his fee." Like then I helped the daughter buy her first time purchase. Um, if you want to be a selling agent, if you've always, what's that saying? If you've always done what you've
what
always
you're,
done, you'll always have what you always had, or something like that.
yeah,
If you just see yourself as a selling agent, you're only ever going to be a selling agent.
and
Um,
it's yeah, mate. I love it. I think buying agent. I've pushed it for like 4 or 5 years here. My wife's doing one at the moment, and she's giving up kind of 3 hours on a Saturday over 3 Saturdays. We charge a £1,500 non-refundable deposit just in case it doesn't go anywhere.
hmm,
And she's charging a percent of what they're doing. Like you say, it's hand holding. It's and buyer's remorse is huge, right? People
hmm.
always talk about we don't like agents, we bought this and that. But imagine if you had someone represent you. And I think you're completely right. For every single person, just ask the question, and they can only say
Yeah.
no.
Would you like that? And better still, just automate asking the question, and you'll get a certain amount of people that would say, "Yeah, that sounds good. Can we talk about that?" Or
When you
whatever.
say automate, is that a tech automation then?
Always. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, 2 weeks after registering, you've probably maximized your property book or what you got available. They've either gone from, you know, in our process, active viewing offered to progressing, all the ones that remain in active stage, or viewing stage because they've not offered or something, send them a text, say, hey, John, quick heads up. If I found you a property off market that is perfect for you, would you pay me 2% of the purchase price? Send that to 100 people, and I trust me, you'll get 5 to 10 replies saying, yeah, of course I will. So
I was
it's
going to ask that very question. If you send that to 100, how many replies you get? Now, I presume, and we're going down a bit of a rabbit hole here because we're geeks. The text message open rate is much better than the email or response rate is much better than the email response.
yeah, mad. So I'm hot on the whole. Obviously, I'm we automate and systemize everything through our custom CRM, but there's like a 6-to-1 ratio. I think you can only use one text message when you would every 6 emails.
Nice.
But yeah, open your mind to just being the prop, and that ties in. We could sit here for hours, but building a personal brand. When someone sees you online, what do you want to think? Oh, that guy's a good selling agent. No, you want to think, wow, that guy's a good property expert. I'll give him a call. So it all ties in. How you see yourself is how other people will see you.
Nice. Okay. So don't leave anything on the table and offer buying agency. And if you can automate it and do it via a text messaging tool, do it a couple of weeks after and just makes don't leave money on the table is what I'm taking there,
Yeah,
right?
set and
Don't
forget
just
it.
be a
Don't
sales
don't,
agent.
don't lose sleep over it. Set and forget it, and you'll probably get loads of non-replies, but you get a lot to say. That sounds interesting because no one else is doing that. So
No,
the minute you offer it, it's really stand out.
I really like that. And then the first one was be a negotiation geek and put that as your USP and go and really learn about it because that's one of our. I think I heard you say once on stage. I mean, that's really all we offer.
My Am I self-employed? Am I employed? Do you do pro photography? Are you on Rightmove? Are you on Zoopla? Like all that crap that's irrelevant at the point that you've got an offer for someone and you're negotiating it for them. Um, so yeah, that's the crux. But people don't realize it. All they're employing is your ability to negotiate them the best outcome. But homeowners need telling that at times as well.
Nice. All right.
And that
So
all ties in, because they get obsessed with negotiation, get good at it. That ties into then now we can go to clients and say, look, do you want help with your property purchase? We negotiate on average 6.2% off the asking price for our clients on their next purchase. Um, so then you get a bit more meat on the bone and you can back it up.
nice. All right. What's your third tip, Perry? Birmingham, Belfast, Bognor Regis. What you got for us?
So this is quite an important one, I think you need to get into the mindset of becoming the solutions provider. Now you say, oh my God, obviously. But I've seen so many clients where we've helped them sell via maybe auction, like proper auction, not this modern method of auction shit, but the proper auction method where from day one they should have been advised to auction it, but the agent that they first met didn't have the option to do auction, so they just defaulted to private treaty. Or it might be that they've sat on the market for 6 months, and I'm like, do you need to sell it? No, I don't need to sell it. Okay, cool. Why don't rent it out for 2 years? Yeah, could do. Not really thought about that. So when you become like the solutions provider and you've got a solution for every problem, um, you can then serve clients better. I think that's quite important. So whether it's, I believe agents should be like a 4-dimensional agent. They should be able to sit in the living room and they should be able to talk about um, private treaty sales, letting, auction, and help on the next onward purchase. All methods of sale, I think is really important.
It comes back to you. So I had one, it was 3 million quid, and we were struggling to sell. And I said to the guy, why don't you just let it? And he was like, well, aren't you giving up a sales fee? I was like, well, no, I'm just advising you
You're
of the price.
postponing it.
Yeah,
In fact, you'll have 2 years of management fee and then you'll sell it in 2 years' time.
yeah, and he'll come back. And then the couple of times where I've just put him completely fiduciary, right? Completely him above me. I said to him, listen, rather than you actually sell it, the market's tough. Why don't you try and refinance out, keep it, and pay your ex-partner out? And he was like, but why are you advising me this? Because you're going to lose, it's a 2% fee at 3 million quid, right? So it's like, you're going to lose 60, 70 grand. I was like, but I'm not losing it, am I?
Mm.
I'm here to be your realtor, whatever you want to call it, your estate agent, your property consultant, your property advisor, whatever you want to label yourself as for life. I genuinely don't care about a short-term sale. And he was so taken aback. Now, 2 years later, I've got to go back to him with a low offer but I'm going to drive to his home, which is about an hour and a half away. And I think the guy will accept it because he knows I'm going to be genuine when I present it rather than greedy over a fee.
Yeah, and I think like you never had it, so you never lost it.
Mm.
And I also think um, it's like, yeah, just it's all about the client. The more you do that, the more you're going to get recommended, and then your fees will go up because the best way to get increased fees is get more recommendation. So it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. Just do the right thing. Use your and but interestingly though, the right thing is limited by your knowledge and experience because an inexperienced agent probably might not have they might be doing the right thing, but they might not have the answer to that client's problem. So I think again, career agents and people that have got it in their blood would always do agency. And it's we're 20 years in. I'm 20 years in now being an agent, I think. Yeah, maybe 21, and I still learn something new every day, don't we?
Started when you were 4, did you? Started viewers at
Yeah.
4. Yeah, yeah.
Started while I was in the womb.
There we go. All right, we're going to call it there, Perry. One final thing for you is if, in terms of where you just go for resources, so you mentioned don't do this modern method of auction, yeah, all of this stuff. Where do you go and learn?
YouTube,
Yeah,
pretty much. I mean, I've got a really good business growth coach, but that's more growing a business, but being a better estate agent so I can lead our agents with confidence. And yeah, I'm just a learning geek. Um,
who's your number one? Tom Ferry, Josh Fegan. Who would you say this is who I follow?
um, I don't really so much anymore. I try and look at other industries, if I'm completely honest. Like, they're all great. Obviously, I watch Josh Vegan and all Tom Panos and all them guys, but um, you can the learnings don't need to be from within the same industry. I watch a lot of business owner um, interviews, and I'm a bit of a YouTube geek, so I'll just search negotiation on YouTube and see what comes up and start watching it.
Nice. All right. Good man. Good man. Perry, short form content. I asked you to deliver on gold. You have done. Thank you, sir. We'll catch you soon.
You're welcome. See you later.
Cheers.